and caverns.
35 seconds of logos.
CinemaSins logos to waste time cliche.
Sure, I'm glad Ian Holm is here to remind me of that unpopular trilogy of movies that came out more than 10 years ago.
Hey, out of all the weird ways these movies call back to Lord of the Rings, I think this is probably the most tasteful. I think it's pretty cool that we open with old Bilbo narrating for a minute. Oh, yeah, you don't like narration. Forget that I said that. Arbitrary TV reference.
Peter Jackson only teases dragon even though he knows you bought the ticket expecting to see dragon.
Don't you mean a dragon? And did you seriously expect to see Smaug immediately? Wouldn't that make his appearance later on less impactful if they did that?
This is a lot of exposition even for a Lord of the Rings movie.
Are you sure about that? I don't know. I feel like Fellowship had way more exposition in the beginning, and you didn't say anything about that when you sent that movie. And once again, I'm still annoyed why you think exposition is a sin, as if it's not required to understand a film.
Began as you might expect.
If he's writing all this to Frodo, why does he need to do the whole "it began in a hole in the ground" crap?
Sinning the movie for including quotes from the actual book, but I understand why you don't know about that. You know, since books don't matter.
Oh, hey Frodo, what are you doing in this movie? Not a thing.
Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
Aragorn Jr.
What, because it kind of looks like him? That's a weird thing to say.
Mini Aragorn.
Who is that dummy?
Dwarf doors are invisible.
Yeah, except when a huge dragon wants to come in.
Gandalf is specifically talking about the dwarf door that only opens on Durin's Day. Context, man. Is that a foreign thing to you?
Stay out late. Come home after dark, trailing mud and twigs and firefly.
Gandalf is basing all of his faith in Bilbo on things that all kids do at that age.
Okay, cool.
If the dwarves spent as much time training to fight dragons as they did singing, this trilogy would be over by now.
There were only 2 songs, dude. 2 songs are too much for you? Also singing Misty Mountains.
It takes 43 minutes for this film's actual adventure to begin, and the first thing they do is go to sleep and tell more boring dwarf stories.
And those boring dwarf stories are meant to introduce one of the antagonists of this trilogy. Isn't it smarter to show us who Azog was before he begins to start killing our heroes?
He's a gentle soul who prefers the company of animals to others. He keeps a watchful eye over the vast forest land.
So he's the Unabomber.
Excuse me, what?
Still a better death scene than Miranda Tate's in Dark Knight Rises.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Even for a kid's movie, this is pretty f***ing ridiculous.
This is Middle Earth, dude. It's got a lot of ridiculous stuff like this. Have you ever heard of Tom Bombadil?
No horses were harmed in the making of the scenes that have no horses.
Those are ponies.
While the weed smoking sort of helps explain this crazy wizard character, I'm not sure it fits a kid's movie full of snot and fart jokes. I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure Jeremy is joking by saying this is a kid's movie. And also, again, that's not weed. It's tobacco. You made that mistake in the Fellowship video too, but that's what Tolkien smoked back in the day.
Radagast immediately forgets its objective is to lead the orcs away from the dwarves and just goes in circles.
Dang it, that made me chuckle. Remove a sin.
Bilbo's sword isn't glowing despite the fact that there are tons of orcs around.
Are you blind or something? Because you can clearly see it glowing right here.
Is this the same spot where Frodo got stabbed in Fellowship? Are you really just cramming in every single possible connection to the other trilogy that you can?
And so what that this is Weathertop? Does that hurt the movie in any way? No? Then move on, please.
It's his excessive consumption of mushrooms.
Jeez, the guy smokes weed and does shrooms? I think maybe all it takes to be a wizard in Middle-earth is a drug habit and a robe.
And also magic. Otherwise, Harry Potter isn't a wizard.
Because there is none.
Is Sauron supposed to already be evil here, or is he just a dick?
Mispronouncing Saruman, even though I recognize the irony since I say it wrong too. Nope, seriously, every time I think I say it right, apparently I'm not. Also, Count Dracula has a point here. For context, Gandalf has just revealed a Morgul blade that Radagast retrieved from Dol Guldur, and Count Dooku is asking if there is proof that it actually came from Angmar's grave. There is none, as he says, and even if this wasn't true, this is how Francisco is characterized. He's arrogant and ignorant, and that's part of why he turns evil later on.
This always seems to happen. I start playing Final Fantasy VII, but I end up playing Shadow of the Colossus.
You said Final Fantasy VII, but the subtitles say Final Fantasy XII, because that's what those Roman numerals mean.
So the goblins built this entire collapsible floor just in case somebody came by and wanted to sleep here for a while?
Hey, Goblins gotta eat.
Man, no one tell Radagast about this place.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Didn't Gandalf say,
The blade is of elvish make, which means it will glow blue when orcs or goblins are nearby.
and didn't Elrond say that this sword was of elvish make? So then why isn't this blade glowing near all these goblins? Or Gandalf's sword, Glamdring, also made by elves.
Wow, 2 actual sins. And yeah, my brother pointed that out a lot when we were rewatching these movies. But you misspelled Gandalf in the subtitles, so now I'm conflicted. Okay, tell you what, I won't change the sin counter and just move on.
Rings don't land on fingers like this, unless you're in Middle-earth, where it happens in the first movie of every trilogy.
Yeah, but this specific ring is magical. You even questioned in your fellowship video why it can't do anything else if it can will itself onto someone's finger.
You can totally tell where the video game and the movie sort of became one.
Man, CinemaSins used to be much funnier back in 2013, weren't they?
Eagles? Again? Is that the only way Tolkien knows how to resolve things?
But wait, why are you mentioning Tolkien, even though he had nothing to do with this movie's production? Or wait, are you now saying the books matter? Also, the Eagles only resolve 3 things in all 6 of these movies.
This rock looks like a bear. What is this, Cars?
Yeah, it does. But did you just show a clip from Cars 2?
Wait, that's the Lonely Mountain? Well, why didn't the Eagles just fly them all the way there? Take them like 15 minutes. I mean, seriously, what do the Eagles have to be doing right now that was unimportant enough to stop doing it to come rescue the dwarves, but that they couldn't also spend a few more minutes to fly them all the way to their f***ing destination?
Funnily enough, the book actually explains this one. They don't want to fly anywhere near a mountain with a dadgum dragon inside of it, and also there are bowmen that can shoot them down. That's why they later come during the Battle of 5 Armies, since Smaug was dead at that point. And since he earlier brought up Tolkien, that should definitely justify me bringing up the book. Good job, CinemaSins. You made my job easier for me.
Stephen Colbert 1, Tom Bombadil 0.
Sinning Stephen Colbert.